Hi, I'm Dana. I'm 24 years old and I got my first laptop with an internet connection when I was 12. So I've been on the internet for half of my life now, and I've seen a lot of shit. I've been around a couple of times. I had the whole Pro-Ana website thing going on. I've been in a lot of weird chat rooms. I had a lot of strangers on MSN. I spent a long time on Tumblr. This is Ringo, by the way. But I've seen a lot online, and I've certainly gained my mental issues thanks to it. But in the last couple of years, I've found online, like social media and the like, to be a really nice place for me. And I realised that it's because I quite carefully curate my own online experience. And I think it's something that people need to do a lot more. I know I'm coming at you as essentially someone who's trying to be an influencer, but online, like, social media is so oversaturated with just thousands upon thousands of bits of shit. And I don't mean the people that are on it, I mean just the heavily photoshopped images, the face-tuned people, just all the crap that makes us feel bad about ourselves, the half jet plane things that you can go and take pictures in to get people to think you're rich, people hiring handbags to make people think they're rich, you can get clothes you can buy with real money, fake clothes that get photoshopped onto you now. Like, the internet may have changed a lot since I got here, but we're still facing the same issues with it. And I feel very fortunate to have been able to figure out how to sort of remove myself on it while still, trying to have an online presence and talking to lots of people. So I'm coming at you all cozy with my cup of tea because it's a horrible day. And I wanted to just sort of share some tips and tricks and things that I do to curate my online experience and make social media, a happy place that I go to for escapism rather than something I need to escape from. Like, I've never felt the need to have a break from social media. Sometimes I take breaks from posting, at least on Instagram. I haven't done it here yet. But I've never had to take a break and stop going on it. The first one is that I try not to follow too many people. And that can be difficult. I'm especially finding it difficult because with more people following me, I check out almost everyone that follows me. And a lot of them are really cool, so I want to follow them back. But I try to keep my Instagram to under 100 people, like 100 or under. I'm a little bit over at the minute, but I like a lot of people right now. And Twitter, for me, is a place where I want lots and lots of content that I can sort of skim over. So I just keep that to under 1,000. But even then, I feel like that's less than what a lot of people follow. I don't really use TikTok an awful lot. I'm 24 years old. I don't use TikTok a lot. So I just follow all sorts of random stuff on there. I don't remember the last time I opened the app with you, to be honest. I have no advice for that. But some other bits of advice will tie into how you can utilise my tips for TikTok should you so choose. I'm no voice of authority. I'm just an old person on the internet that's been here a while and thought I'd share stuff. So by keeping it to it's not very minimal, but by following a good amount of people for me personally, I can make sure that each person I follow consistently post content that I enjoy and that makes me feel good. The second I realise that I'm comparing myself to someone online, be that someone on Instagram or someone who's funnier than me on Twitter or whatever else, I first of all focus on why I'm feeling that way. Because if it's some girl on Instagram just living her best life and I'm jealous, that's a me issue that I need to sort. Whereas if it's for example, a few people that I follow, I recently noticed heavily edited their pictures. And they do it very well, so I hadn't noticed previously. But once I had, it's a case of I'm not only comparing myself to someone, but I'm not even comparing myself to how they actually are. So I unfollowed them. I unfollow people all the time. And sometimes I later go back and refollow them once I've worked out my own issues. Sometimes they're not people that I need to follow. I will never follow the Kardashians because although I'm not the type of person that has any issue with what they do, if one of my siblings made a sex tape and I could get rich off it, you can bet your ass that I would. But if I followed them, I would be constantly seeing this rich, perfect woman's life. And I would just feel like shit about my own life. I'd be like, God, why don't I have that? Why don't I look like that? Why am I not a Kardashian? Whereas I can just not follow them and then have a nice little, oh yeah, they're out there doing their thing and I'm over here doing my thing and we're all fine. And of the people that I do follow, I also try to make it have a point, Is it someone who inspires me? Is it someone that's like very much themselves, or someone who uses like really unique fashion choices that inspire me to like live my best life as myself? Is it someone that inspires content? You know, things like that. There needs to be a purpose. And, you know, I know I've gone straight for like, it needs to inspire me, but also it can just be that it makes you happy. Like there's a girl I follow on Instagram and we've interacted a bunch of times, but I followed her out of the blue just because she's really pretty. She's a plus size gal that posts nice outfits. And when she posts things, I smile. They just make me smile. They just make me happy. Their only purpose is that I look at her and I'm like, oh yeah, good for you. Like wearing this cute ass outfit with your lovely hair going to like a pumpkin patch or whatever. And I suppose now that I've thought of it in that manner, I do also majority follow like ordinary people. Very few people I follow online are celebrities or big influencers. I follow quite a few influencers and like people who are creating content and the like, but they tend to be on like the smaller micro influencer scale, which doesn't matter, but you know. I think that like following either ordinary people or people who are on like a more similar level to you, number one, you're not going to get as jealous of them because they have a more similar reality to you. And number two, there's going to be less drama because there's just less people involved. There's less people following them. There's less people commenting. There's just likely to be a whole lot less drama. Because there is nothing that puts me off like on the internet more than when I'm like going through someone's stories or something and they're having to address drama. I'm like, just show me your breakfast or your boyfriend or your cat. Like, come on. And I do think that there's some places that you just can't curate in that way. There's some places where you will never be able to remove the content that you don't want to see or the content that makes you feel worse. And that's where you do need to limit how much social media you use of that specific platform, or even cut it out. It's a weird weather kind of day. The lighting's really odd. I'm really sorry. There's nothing I can do. My light is as bright as it goes. The sun is... Oh, I can close the cupboard over. One sec. This is the best I can manage. Please deal with it. Thank you. Where was I? For me, my main like platform that I went on growing up was always Tumblr. Like there were points in my life I probably easily spent 10 hours and upwards on Tumblr every day. And I found that it doesn't matter how hard you try to make sure you're only following people that'll post stuff you like, eventually something pops up that just makes you feel worse. And especially with Tumblr, we've got the issue of like it's a very open platform, or at least it was when I was using it, in the way that you would see some really horrible crap. I saw a lot of like eating disorder stuff and self-harm stuff, and it just, eventually it was just like, I could either stay here and every like 6 months something horrible pops up and just deal with that, or I could just stop using Tumblr. And that was when I switched to Instagram, which everyone acts like it's the worst social media platform, and I find that it's by far the easiest to curate your experience on, and I really, really enjoy Instagram. Another tip, like it's all sort of merged into one because like I said, this is basically just word vomit. But another big tip that I have is to just have one account on each. Like I feel like it's so standard nowadays, like maybe I'm just old, maybe I've just been online too long, but I feel like it's really standard for people to have like their private page and then their personal one, and then the one where they get deep with their best friends, and then the one where they're funny. And I have no idea how people like deal with having all of that. Maybe other people are just more organised than I am, I don't know. But I find that having one account and just making sure you've got a good sort of eclectic mixture of content you may enjoy, and just stick with that. It's easier to predict what you're gonna see. It's easier to make sure you're following people that you actually like and that will bring you joy, or you know, information or whatever else. I do think it's also really important to use the online platforms that we have to do as much advocacy and things like that we can, activism and the like. So with that said, my internet isn't always a really nice place, you know. There's obviously like when things happen in the world, like the Black Lives Matter protests, or there's been a lot of homophobic attacks in Liverpool where I live recently, so I see a lot about that. So it's not all peaches and roses or whatever, but it's interspersed by stuff that like really lifts me up and makes me feel better, or by people that I enjoy seeing happy. So I am still managing to educate myself and stay updated, but it's not just constant bombardment of horrible things. And I feel like that's what a lot of people get on Twitter especially. So I think it's just really important to make sure you're getting a good balance on there. And I don't feel like it's the same with Instagram, because a lot of that's like the little swipey placards that are kind of watered down. And I'm always a little unsure of them. I always tend to source check because I'm just like, I Like, you've reworded this in your own way and made it into a pretty little picture. I don't know how true or hard-hitting or truthful it is and so on. That was a tangent that was unnecessary, but there you go. Now, I feel like everyone else has been onto this for years, but I've only in the last couple of months started blocking people. I've always been very like, I don't care, I'll just delete your comment time and time again, I'll just ignore you, like I don't give a shit. And in the last few months, like especially because I've had a couple of Instagram reels that have gone like kind of big, like one got like 500,000 views, it's a bit insane. But it meant that I was getting like a few hate comments every now and again, you know, that were quite unpleasant. And I decided I'm not just going to delete them, I'm going to just block these people. Like, you've had your chance, you blew it, you're not coming back. And after taking that approach on Instagram, I was like, I have the power. I have the power. So anytime I see someone's tweet I don't like, anytime I see a little Tory or a little TERF or someone that's just really shitty, I just block them. Just block them. You know, and I mean only people that are being genuinely shitty, you know. I'm not blocking people for having a different opinion to me. I'm blocking people for thinking that people deserve to die for being brown or whatever, you know. I'm blocking the people that are just really pieces of shit. I don't want my internet experience to just be an echo chamber of my own opinion. I like seeing what other people are thinking and what other people's opinions are and forming my opinion from like lots of different ones and making sure that it's my opinion, you know. But when someone like doesn't think human rights should be a thing or that disabled people shouldn't be born, I'm just blocking them. And it makes your internet life so much nicer. You just don't see their tweets or their pictures or they can't comment on your crap, you know. It's a lot nicer. And like I say, I think everyone else figured that out years ago, but I've only recently started doing it. And if you haven't been, it's amazing. Like, you really feel like you've got so much power. And it's a great way to just curate what you're seeing and make sure that shitty people aren't constantly popping up in your feed or commenting on your stuff. And finally, this caters more for people like me that are trying to have some degree of like an online presence. I prefer to call myself a content creator, but the way the internet is now and that, for people that are trying to be influencers, for anyone that has a larger following, for people that are posting stuff for beyond just their friends and family essentially. And that is that I try to make sure every single thing I post is an honest and authentic representation of me. I feel like the internet needs more authenticity. I feel like people really need to start being more of themselves and not using so many filters. Like, not the fun ones, you know, I'm fine with you like making your eyes and mouth massive or like the fun shit. But the stuff where it like suddenly you've got these cheekbones and this jawline and these big eyes, the ones that are almost real looking that make you question how you really look. Like, no. I think we need to kill that stuff off. If it's fun, if you're a little puppy dog or something, it's fine. If it's almost too real and a bit uncanny valley, I don't think it should be used. You know, I'm no authority. I'm not saying we should, like, make it illegal or anything. But I personally would never ever choose to use one of those filters because I think it's important to, you know, if you're wearing makeup, that's one thing because that's an authentic, like, I could get that look. I'm not great at makeup, but if you told me what products you're using and how you did it, I could probably get like a similar looking finish on my skin. Whereas if you're using a filter, like, no one can ever look like that. You don't even look like that. It's just going to create like a whole standard that nobody can ever reach, even the people that are creating it. And that's how we end up with like the Khloe Kardashian scandal when her pictures were getting removed online because of they hadn't been photoshopped, but that's totally how she really looks and all that. Like, the beauty standard you created is one that you can't even reach for, like, you can't even reach it. You know, and that goes for my videos, my tweets, like, everything that I put out, I try to make sure is honest and authentic and truly how I feel, at least at the time. Because then if anything comes back to bite me, I can argue my corner knowing that I'm in the right, at least, like, to me. You know, I am getting into topics that I don't always know the most about and that I'm not always the most educated on. And a lot of it's just my thoughts and feelings. So if I'm factually incorrect, I'm more than happy to hold my hands and be like, oh crap, I fucked up on this, I was wrong. But if it's an opinion that I have, if it's my genuine, authentic opinion, I'll be able to argue and be like, this is why it's my opinion, this is why I think that, this is why I think it's blah blah blah. Whereas if I'm just saying stuff because other people say it or because I think that my followers are like it if I say it or whatever like reason there is for saying something that isn't authentically you, I don't know how I'd argue that or fight that or even really bring myself to post it in the first place. Because I think that most people feel negative Because I think most people feel a negative impact from being online. You know, I think humans share the common bond of we all want to be liked and appreciated and feel safe and loved and whatever else. And we're just creating this environment online where like very few people get to feel like that. Whereas I think if we were all just open and honest and authentic, we'd all be living much better lives and having a much nicer time. And there's definitely more people that are doing it and like being true and authentic and getting really big and famous for it and encouraging other people to do the same. And I think it's brilliant, but I definitely think it's something we need more of as well. So that's what I strive for. That's what I try to be. And so far, I feel like I've done an okay job. I guess that's more for you to decide than me, really. But I've been talking for a fair while now. I can hear it and feel it in my voice, so I'm sure you can. I keep forgetting to say in videos, because I'm such a great content creator, I'm such an influencer, I keep forgetting to ask you to like and subscribe. If you wanted to, that's lovely, and I'd really like it if you did. If you didn't enjoy this video, then don't do it. Like, if you don't like me, don't bother subscribing, because you'll get blocked if you're mean to me. No, but yeah, this is how I've been enjoying being online. I've made lots of friends in my social platforms for a really happy place most of the time. So I hope this has been useful or enjoyable or entertaining or something to somebody. I'm gonna go. So whoever you are and wherever you are, I hope you've been having a lovely morning, evening, afternoon, day, week, month, whatever you're having. I hope it's a good one. Ooh. And I'll see you in a few days.